Hey everybody, it's Zach from Myshire Farm. We are back again with another video to help you on your journey with Coturnix quail. Last week we did a video called the top 10 most frequently asked questions part 1. It got a little long, so I just did the top 5. We're going to do the next 5 most frequently asked questions right now to help you on your journey with Coturnix quail. And remember to like this video. It will help us tremendously. I would greatly appreciate the support. Also, you'll want to make sure you subscribe because I've got the last video of our playlist about our breeding program and our jumbo wilds coming out Sunday. It is going to be very informative and very interesting. You will not want to miss that. And remember, every Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we go live right here on our YouTube channel, Myshire Farm. So, without further ado, I'm going to do a little recap of the top 5, not very long at all, and then we're just going to get into the next 5 most frequently asked questions. So number 1 was, how long can you collect eggs before incubation? We talked about that, how a lot of people do it differently. We do it for 7 days. Some people do it for 10, longer than that. How do you store eggs waiting to be incubated? We put them in the counter, but then in the last video, we also give you some other options as well, whatever works best for you. Again, I'm not going to go into these very long because I did the video last week, but I do want to do a recap. When are eggs able to be fertilized after the new male? Again, it varies. In my opinion, 3 days is the minimum, but we wait a week before we ship any eggs when we put new males with them. How many quail per square foot? We recommend 3 quail. Now, this is where I made a mistake last week. I flipped them because I do that a lot. But so we do it differently for jumbos and standard weight quail. So for the standard weight, we do 3.5 quail per square foot. For the jumbos, because they're larger, we actually do 3 quail per square foot. In the last video, I flipped it twice in the same video, and I'm very sorry. So it's actually 3.5 quail per square foot that we recommend in the standard weight class, and then 3 quail per square foot in the jumbo weight class. Can my quail live outside? Yes, there are many different ways to do it, to be honest, if you're just raising for you and your family, living outside would probably be the best ideal way, and I'll actually get into that for a couple reasons later on for the last 5 questions. But remember to check out the last video we did last week about the most frequently asked questions, because we'll go into detail about each one of those. But without further ado, and after you hit that like button, I'll give a pause. Thank you. And then make sure you subscribe. So here we go. Number 6. What day do quail start hatching? Well, the reason why this is one of the most frequently asked questions is because incubators lie, right? They just lie. So number 1, we always recommend that you have at least 2 thermometers in your incubator at all times, in different spots, different brands, because incubators lie, right? We also recommend that you get a hydrometer, which measures the humidity, because incubators lie, right? So let's say you have a bad hatch rate from shipped eggs from us, shipped eggs from somewhere else, your own eggs, a farm pickup somewhere close to you, and you can't seem to get a good hatch rate. Well, the main thing you want to look at is, when are they hatching? This is going to give you a lot of information. So ideally, in a perfect world, and again, everybody does differently. I looked at some stuff last night, and some people were saying that they start hatching on them for day 15 and end on 17. And I'm going to tell you what we do. We hatch out literally thousands upon thousands of chicks a year. I don't even know. It's insane how many we hatch out, but this is what we do. So we might get 1 or 2 out of however many we put in on the 16th, but mainly they start pipping on day 16. On day 17, we start getting a pretty good hatch. Day 18, we get about the same amount of hatch. Day 19, we'll get some stragglers. Day 20, we might get 1 or 2, and then we call it a day. If they start hatching late, then we'll let it go further. But that is the ideal situation, is pipping on 16, finishing on day 19 is kind of ideal. Now, if they start hatching too early, that's because you have a temperature issue and your temperature is too high, because the theme of this answer is, that's right, the incubators lie, right? If they start hatching on day 18, you're hatching a little too late, which means your temperature is too low. So keep that in mind. You always want to know what day they are starting to hatch. Now, when we put ours in, we actually start at day 0. So the day we put them in is day 0, the next day is day 1. So keep that in mind as well. And you'll have to come up with your own system. I'm just trying to give you some tips and Myshire tips to help you decide on what works best for you, because a lot of people do it a lot of different ways and a lot of people are successful as well. This is just what we do here. Number 7, what can I do about flies? I get this question a ton, especially in the summer, right? So this would be ideal to have them outside, because the best thing you can do about flies is ventilation. Ventilation, ventilation, ventilation. We've got this garage door that opens to get air coming in this way. In the back of the barn, we've got 2 industrial sized fans up top, so it's getting all of that out and it's just a circular flow. But we still have flies. We do poop literally every day, but that's because we don't do trays. If we had trays, we wouldn't be doing that. I know some people will put some bedding down in the trays to kind of soak it in to help with the fly situation. But ventilation, here's another little tip and trick for you. The waters should be on the outside of the cages. If you can put your waters on the outside of the cages, it is going to help a ton with the mess inside the cage and in the tray below it, right? Which will help a lot with the fly situation. Now, we made something for those little water cups to go on the outside of the trays, but Wynola Ranch, you can check them out on their website, wynolaranch.com, is actually selling a trough that goes on the outside of the cage. We have switched over all of our cages to the troughs, and I swear by them. They are so much better for us. But putting your waters outside of the cage is gonna actually help a ton with the fly situation. But that goes back to being outdoors really would help with all of that, because when you have them indoors, it's confined, it gets messier quicker, it gets stinkier faster. If they're outside, there's obviously plenty of ventilation, which helps a lot. And upkeep, maintenance, you know, cleaning out the trays as much as you can, as frequent as you can, will help a ton as well. And then pine shavings in the trays seem to really help a lot of people as well. We don't have trays, so you know, we don't really do that, but those are some ideas for you. Number 8, Ryneck and splay leg. What are they and how to treat? Well, this is my opinion. This is what we've researched and found out. Other people have different opinions, and that's okay, because this is not a science, I promise. But in my opinion, Ryneck and splay leg are environmental issues. They are not genetic. So I've had people contact me and say, I bought from another breeder and I had, you know, 15 splay legs out of 100 of them. It's not genetic, it's environmental. The reason I say that is, we'll start with Ryneck. From who I've talked to and from what we've researched, Ryneck usually happens when they hatch super late, because they are overgrowing in their egg and they have nowhere to go, right? So their neck kind of forms in the wrong way. Or if they develop too fast, which sometimes that just happens, right? So there's not much you can do about Ryneck. Usually they grow up and live fine lives. They're not as productive, and it doesn't look so great, but you could keep it and it'll still produce for you, just not at a maximum level. We don't use them here, but you could. That wouldn't be a big deal. Now, splay leg is a different story. Splay leg is environmental as well. It is because when they first hatch out and the first 2 days, their legs are very, very weak. So if they have anywhere where they're standing, whether it's in the lockdown, in the incubator, in the brooder, and it is not a firm surface for them, their legs will split. They won't be able to bring them back together, and that's how they'll form. So what we do is we put blue paper towels down, which is like the automotive towels that you can get. You can get it on eBay, Amazon, any of the big box stores, things like that. The blue paper towels are a little bit thicker and made a little bit differently than regular paper towels, right? We've tried the regular store-bought white paper towels that you use in your house, and they are not good. I do not recommend using them. Use the automotive blue paper towels and you will have little to no splay leg because it is the first few days are very vital for their bones to grow. So just make sure that whatever surface you use that is nowhere near where they can even split their legs open. But the big part about that is you can treat the splay leg. If it happens to be splay leg, you can put it in a shot glass for a few minutes and have them stand on them where they're confined. You can use a little rubber band. I've seen people use zip ties to hold them together. Not very long, just enough for them to get their feet back together. Couple of minutes, maybe 15 minutes tops, and that should fix it if you catch it soon. If you don't, you need to put it out of its misery. So I know a lot of people are not going to like that answer, but there's no reason for that quail to suffer its whole life. But you can fix it if you check it right away, and just make sure there's no slippery surfaces. Number 9, when do I take chicks out of the lockdown? A lot of people differ on this. I'm going to tell you what I've heard. I'm going to tell you what we do, and you can make up your own educated decision on what you want to do. We do every 24 hours. So if they start hatching on, let's say, the night of day 16, we'll take them out on the night of day 17, and then every 24 hours after that. As soon as they are dry, we have taken them out of there in about 12 to 14 hours. It really depends on your humidity and how many you're hatching in your lockdown. But we take them out every 24 hours. I know a lot of people wait all 72 hours because they don't want to shrink wrap. I don't think that that's a big deal unless you are just keeping the lid off forever. But what you want to do is get a little box, put it right next to your incubator, open it up, take the chicks out, put them in that box, and close it up. 3-5 minutes tops, not even that long, right? It's not going to shrink wrap the eggs. It's not going to do any damage to the ones that are still hatching. You just close it up and then you move them. But I've seen a lot of people open the incubator, take pictures, look at them, move them to the brooder, come back, and then it's been open this whole time. Well, that would be an issue. So fast, very fast, every 24 hours is what I recommend. Some people will wait 72 hours. I know that the stuff in their yolk will let them eat and drink for 72 hours and be sufficient. I just feel like that's cruel. I can't do it. Our lockdowns have a glass where we can see through, and they just stare at me saying it's ready for me to go, you know? So we do 24 hours. Some people wait up to 72. Some breeders recommend 48. Again, you'll have to find out what's best for you, but we do 24. Sometimes we'll do 12 if they are dry. And number 10, can different colors be housed together? Yes, absolutely. We house a bunch of different colors in our brooders together. And then we've got mixed cages and feather sexable cages of all different colors. They do completely fine. There is not one breed that's more aggressive than the other as far as what we carry here. I know a lot of people have a lot of information about the whites. We don't have that situation. We never have. Our whites are probably the most docile out of all of them, but all of them get along very, very well. You might get one of those jerks every once in a while that is very territorial or very aggressive, and as far as our barn goes, that quail does not reside here very long. And we take care of that pretty quickly, but all the colors get along just fine. You don't have to worry about it. Again, if you have any other questions, remember to check us out Sunday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on our YouTube channel, Myshire Farm, for our live Q&A. Also, comment below if you have any other questions, and I will do my best to either answer on there or I'll do another video to do more frequently asked questions in the playlist. So I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you like the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I will see you Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our live Q&A. I've got some updates for you so you won't want to miss it. And remember, Sunday morning, I'll be posting the last breeder video of our Jumbo Wild breeders. You will not want to miss it. It is the final weigh-in, and it's going to be very interesting. I'll see you then. Thanks. Have a great day.